What's up guys, realised I hadn't done an intro to this video before I filmed the first section. So, this is our experiment with salting meat. You could do this with large joints, sausages, anything like that, but we're just trying it with some rashers of bacon. This is one of many methods that I've found online and the first one I'm testing out for you. So bear with me as we try this method out based on what I've read online for it, and we'll possibly do some different ones in the future depending how this goes. So this is the method we're going to try with our bacon, and we're going to do it with a Tupperware tub instead of a vacuum sealer, because if we wanted to cure meats in an SHTF situation we may not have the power for the vacuum sealer, but we'll do another video on that later. For this method we're just going to be salting, and we're going to use thin slices of bacon, so it should be quite easy to do. Now the first thing you want to do is weigh your bacon and make a note of that weight. For the drying process to be complete, we want to have lost about 30 to 40% of the weight of the actual meat. So, first thing we're going to do, tub, as you can see there, just about right for the amount of bacon. And you can use different types of salt. Kosher salt is probably the best, but I found this table salt in Farm Foods dirt cheap, so it means I can stock quite a lot of it. As with anything on this channel, it's trial and error. So if it doesn't work, we'll show you it doesn't work, and we will test the dry cure meat at a later date on another video to see how it comes out when to consume it. So first we're going to put a layer of salt in the bottom, cover the bottom completely. So we can't see any of the plastic through the bottom. And then if you had a single joint of meat, you would just put one in and then surround it, and that'd be it. What we're going to do, because we've got slices and we're trying it with slices, we're going to put every slice we put in, we're going to put another layer of salt over it till the bacon disappears. Completely covered. Bottom, sides, there's little bits on the sides there, but I don't think that should matter. It could potentially. There you go, I've just used a knife down the side and I've tucked them in so I know they're covered. Now, what we're going to do with this is seal that now. This is quite an airtight lid, it's got a rubber seal in it as well, and it clips down. So we're going to seal that. And we're going to put this now in a temperature controlled environment for 5 days. Obviously without power you'd have to figure that out, whether it is outside depending on the time of year, etc. Or just a cool box, whatever you can manage. This, because we're in peace times, is going to go in the refrigerator for about 5 days, and then we'll come back and have a look at it. Right, it's been 6 days. You shouldn't need anywhere near that amount of time with this, but this now should be done. Open it up, and that, you can feel the moisture in the salt. So we'll take our pieces out now and check it out. There you go. It's almost gone like leathery, so it has dried it out. Let's get our pieces all out and laid out. So there's our salted meat here. It's not gone stiff as like other meats probably would because of what it is, but weighing it, it has lost about 40% of its weight. So it has worked, and they are dried out. It's easier to tell when you tear it that there's no moisture in there. What you can do with this is shake off and get rid of the excess salt on them. And you can wrap these in something like a cheesecloth and tie them up and hang them somewhere. And they'll last could be between 4 and 6 weeks or something like that. So this isn't a long-term food storage solution, but for anyone who's thinking of hunting and things like that in an SHTF situation, rather than trying to eat all that meat in a day or in a few days, this is going to keep it fresh. Not fresh, but this is going to keep it for longer. So you can tie that up with a string and keep that and use it when you see fit. Now, you could just take it out there and cook it straight away, and the fat and the juices and stuff like that will give it some sort of moisture. Or you could soak it in fresh water. Soaking it in fresh water will draw some of that saltiness out of it. So soak it in fresh water for 24 hours, then rinse it off and cook it then, and you'll get a much less saltier flavour to it. So that was with the thin rashers. It was kind of an experiment because it's just a cheap thin meat that would do quickly. I think I am going to start trying this with a few larger items like a beef joint and stuff like that, and see how that comes out. And with the beef as well, once it's dry cured, you can slice it and eat it as it is. With the pork, you still want to be cooking it. So thank you for joining me for my little experiment. What I do with a bucket full of moist salt now, I've no idea, but I'll figure that out. Any suggestions, let me know below. So that's just one method that I found online. Another method is using the old wooden barrels like they used to do for sailors back in the 19th century, and similar sort of thing where you layer the salt. You can use rock salt or anything like that, but you layer the salt, you put the meat in, covered in salt, etc., all the way till you're close to the top, but then you make a hot salt water brine, and then you pour that into the top and let the lid rest on it, and that with a weight will then pressure it down, and that can keep for a similar sort of time. There's millions of different methods online for doing this. Just thought I'd give one a try. It's good to practice these things before you're in a situation where you need to do it. At least then you know what to expect, what to look for and what to do. Bear in mind, in peace times I was putting that in the fridge. Obviously, depending on the time of year and the environment you're in, you will have to try and find a cool place for that. Also, you've got the option of air drying meats, so you can look into that as well. You salt them in a similar sort of way where you cover it in salt, but then you're actually hanging that in somewhere that's warmish and dry, with a breeze going through it. So there's lots of different methods. The message to take away though is try these things. I will be cooking up some of that bacon in the next few days, and we'll see how that goes as well. Should be all good. If there's any problems, keep an eye on the shorts. I'll put a little update on the shorts later on. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in another video soon. Goodbye.